industry, especially when you're out in the highway, whether it's 4 a.m. in the morning or 6 o'clock at night. It doesn't make any difference. The whole idea is you have to be aware, and this is what we're going to be teaching you constantly, the safety part of driving an 18-wheeler. We really teach you to drive the truck so you can pass any test, and that proves itself by the students coming from all over the country. Of course, the right training here, that means job security, Andrew, and always has. That's the biggie.
Absolutely. And national training, of course, is where the trucking companies come for new drivers. And tonight I'm very pleased to have Holly McDonald online with us tonight. And Holly has been in the trucking industry for many, many years as well. I think it's 10 or 12 years with Comcar, very long time. And Holly, tell us all about Comcar. How did they start?
I would absolutely love that, Andrew. Thank you so much for having me tonight. Well, I like to start by telling everyone a little bit, if you'll pop on to the next slide, would like to really start by talking about the need for drivers before I get to the point of talking about Comcar. If you're out there tonight and you're listening, you couldn't have picked a better time to be thinking about entering the trucking industry. We absolutely are in the midst of a driver shortage. Truck drivers move everything that you can see, touch, taste, or feel. It's moved by tractor trailer, usually more than once. Right now, the American Trucking Association is saying that we need to find roughly 96,000 new drivers a year to keep pace with the demand for the need that we have. As you can see by the slide, if freight demand continues to grow as it's projected to, our industry could be short over 240,000 drivers by 2022.
Wow.
Once you have that CDL in hand, as long as you do your part to keep that CDL, meaning no accidents, keep your MVR clean, no tickets, you're never going to look for another job. There are going to be companies like my own and a myriad of others that are knocking on your door looking to give you that job. And here's back to what I was talking about earlier. If you bought it, a truck brought it. Most definitely, everything that we move is moved by tractor trailer. So here we are. We're going to talk a little bit about Comcar. Comcar is a privately owned, family-owned business. We've actually been in business for over 70 years. Our founder, Guy Bostic, started the company with one truck. He was the youngest chief of police in Florida at the age of 25, but his dream was to own a trucking company. You know, he said, if I could just get 25 trucks in my fleet, man, I'd be doing all right. Well, long story short, here we are over 70 years later, and his trucking company now has 4 different trucking companies. We actually have the ability to offer a little bit of everything. We have tanker, flatbed, dry van, frozen refrigerated, and an owner-operator division. Within the 4 companies, we have the ability to offer local, regional, and over-the-road. So no matter what it is that you're looking for as a driver, you can find it within one of the Comcar family of companies.
Now tell me about, like, there's so many different companies in Comcar, and you know, I like that they're all of their logos are pretty much the same, but they're the same company, same parent company, but they all do different things.
Absolutely. Let's start on one end and work our way across the board. So CCC is our company that's actually has a terminal right here in Jacksonville, Florida. They are one of the 3 largest intrastate carriers within the state of Florida. Now, what that means for a driver is you have a very good chance of getting local work straight out of school with this division. Not as difficult to do that with this division as it is with the other 3 because they have so much local work available. Now, they do a little bit of everything that we offer right through CCC. They have tank, flatbed, and dry van. The tank is a pneumatic tank, and the flatbed division primarily pulls pods, which is portable on-demand storage. The dry van division, obviously, they're pulling for Michael, Snapple, Anheuser-Busch, Quaker Oats. Those are just a few of the customers that come to the top of my head. So most positions within CCC, those drivers are home nightly. And as a driver with that division, depending upon which part of CCC you work for and what you're doing, you'll either receive a percentage of the load, flat rates, or a cents per mile. And it's different for each part of that, so I don't have it specifically on the board. Now, CT is our flatbed division. As a driver through CT, you're going to pull building supplies. If you build a building with it, that's what they carry. Wallboard, lumber, brick, concrete block. Those are the types of things that these drivers carry. It is flatbed. Drivers through this division will find that about 65 to 75% of their loads are preloaded, pre-tarped. So loads already placed on the deck of the trailer, tarps are already draped over the load. There's still plenty of physical work left for a driver to do, because they'll have to secure the load before they take off, and when they get to the customer on the other end, they're going to have to pull those straps, pull those tarps, get everything out of the way so that the customer can unload. What truly attracts drivers to CT is that they'll have the ability to be out throughout the week, but yet they'll be home each weekend. They're running regional only, so they're just a regional operation. Students will start at 40 cents a mile, both loaded and empty, straight out of school, and graduate up to that 45 cents per mile.
Not working. It's not working.
Yeah, we're here.
I can't hear anything.
We can hear you. CTL is our tanker division. Now, they are a chemical line haul company. As a driver for CTL, you're going to pull chemicals. It's bleach, hydrogen peroxide, molten sulfur, water treatment products, chemical resins, anything chemical. Now, no food, no fuel, and no nuclear byproducts. These drivers have two different options. They can run short haul, which is a mixture of local and regional runs, where they're home multiple nights per week, or they can run as a system driver and be out for 14 days and then come home for 2 to 4 days. Now, as a driver through the system, if you're out that 14 days, you'll start at 45 cents per mile, both loaded and empty, for your first 6 months. At 6 months, you'll move to 45, and when you actually hit your 1-year anniversary, they graduate you to 50 cents per mile, both loaded and empty miles.
Wow.
Nice.
That's new, right?
That is new, and that is absolutely a student rate of pay straight out of school.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have, finally, MCT, which is our temperature control. So this is our frozen refrigerated division. Now, they do kind of a mixture of regional and road. Those drivers are typically out 10 to 14 days. They're going to be pulling products. Obviously, being frozen refrigerated, you would expect that you'll have a pretty good quantity of food-grade products, and you will. Russell Stover's, Hershey's, Walmart brands, Quaker Oats, there's Anheuser. There's a lot of different stuff that they pull. They also do fresh-cut flowers and foliages through the Florida foliage farms, and we do climate control transportation for Valspar paint, 3M foams, and tape. These drivers will start at 32 cents per mile, again, loaded and empty. As a recent student graduate, we're also offering a bonus. So those drivers that come to us straight out of school, for the first 180 days, so 6 months, that first 6 months that they're there, not only are they going to earn their 32 cents per mile loaded and empty, but we're also going to bank from their first day to their 90th day 3 cents a mile for every mile that they drive. When they actually hit that 90-day mark, we give them a bonus check for all the miles they drove in their first 3 months, paid at a 3 cent per mile rate. Then when they go from 90 to 180 days, we do the same thing. We continue to bank 3 cents per mile. When they hit that 180th day, we give them another bonus check for all miles that they drove from 90 to 180 days. So it's just a nice little bonus for the drivers. And then any driver, doesn't matter if you're a recent student graduate or a 15-year vet, any driver with MCT that exceeds 10,000 miles a month driven will also earn a penny per mile for all miles driven.
Wow. Very nice. Well, I'm starting to get some questions on the question board here. This is from a Frank Reynolds, and he wants to know, do you have any owner-operator opportunities?
Absolutely. So through MCT, that last division, we most definitely have an owner-operator fleet. We do require that owner-operators have 6 months to 1 year experience before they lease a truck into the company. We do not have a lease-to-purchase program at this time. All of our companies are happy to hire owner-operators, but MCT obviously has the largest capability for doing that. We have some owner-operators through MCT that have just one truck and they drive it themselves, but we have fleet owners through MCT that actually have 60-plus trucks that they've leased all of their fleet to our company, and then they hire individuals such as yourselves to drive for them. So we absolutely have the ability to put you in contact with a fleet owner as well if you're looking to work for an independent contractor, or if you are looking to come in as an owner-operator. As I said, 6 months to a year of experience. You're welcome to go out and get that truck, and absolutely we have a lot of different programs for our owner-operators that make it profitable for them, and we're happy to get you in touch with a recruiter.
Terrific. All right, let's talk about the benefits.
I want to ask you one question that I think we forgot about, and I usually bring it up, but the individual who goes on with any of your companies there you just went through, they can move around within the 6-month range. Isn't it the way you say it? That's normal.
Absolutely, Rob. That is a great point that you bring up there. One of the best benefits, I think, of being a Comcar driver is that we do have that policy. Once a driver has hired in with Comcar and been with us for 6 months, they have to start with one company and stay with that company for at least 6 months. But once they've hit that 6-month mark, all doors are open at that point. They could move from, say, the frozen refrigerated over to flatbed to tanker. They can move between the companies, gaining experience, becoming more valuable as a driver, but never leaving any of their benefits behind. All of their health benefits will move with them, all of their accrued vacation time, and most importantly, that seniority level, their pay level, moves with them as they move between carriers.
Great.
Very nice. Let's go into the benefits. And just so you know, Holly, I'm just looking at all the people on the attendee list here, and I talked to Tim Barnett this morning. You know, he's looking forward to going to Comcar. He just graduated. And then Kimberly Borque, online listening as well. She talked to me this morning about going to one of the Comcar companies. So quite a few.
I'm thrilled to hear that.
Really nice. I'm glad that they're on tonight to hear you. Let's talk about the benefits and what can they look forward to.
All right. Well, the first one that I want to talk about is not actually listed on this page, but I think it is absolutely one of the most important, and that is tuition reimbursement. We have an outstanding tuition reimbursement package. We actually offer $6,000 in tuition reimbursement, which covers your entire tuition, Andrew.
Yes, it does. I like that a lot.
So a student that is coming in, if they take advantage of financing through the school, we will actually pick them up, hire them straight out of school, and pay their payments for them. We pay $150 a month each month for the first 24 months that they're with the company. And we'll pay it directly to the lender so that they don't have to even worry about making that payment. And then when they celebrate their 25th month anniversary, we'll write one check and pay off the remaining balance of their tuition in full at that 25th month mark. So it's a wonderful tuition reimbursement package, and something that sets ours apart, other than the fact that we pay it off so quickly, where most carriers take 5 to 7 years, we do it within 2. The other thing that makes ours stand alone is the fact that we allow students to make a decision to go to another carrier when they leave school, and if they find that they're unhappy, we will still hire them and pick up that tuition reimbursement and pay it off still within their 25 months of working with Comcar.
Yeah, I don't know of any other company that has anything even close to that.
none at all.
Neither do I.
Yeah, that's very, very neat.
Yes, it is.
It's a wonderful benefit. So let's kind of run down this list. We do offer health, dental, vision, short and long-term disability, company-paid life insurance. The prescription plan, of course, is a part of the health care package. Drivers or any employee with Comcar is eligible for the benefits on the first day of the month following 60 days of employment. So they'll work their first 60 days, first day of the next month, all these coverages begin. The benefits are actually part of a cafeteria plan, so you can pick and choose the coverage that you want. You can manage your cost very well. We have low, medium, and high buy-up packages. So you really can manage the cost of your benefits through that cafeteria plan. We do offer paid vacation, paid holidays. We have a 401k through T. Rowe Price. Absolutely offer direct deposit. I think that's something that's really important to drivers because when you're on the road and away from home, that paycheck hits your bank every week. It's already there. It's at your fingertips. You don't have to wait until you get home and run to the bank and cash a check.
Yeah.
And then, of course, annually we do safety and service awards for our drivers as well.
Very nice. All right, let's talk about the equipment. And one thing about your trucks, and you know, I guess I poked fun at automatic trucks for a while there, but it really is the future, isn't it?
It truly is. So all of our trucks are International ProStars and Mack trucks. They are 3 to 5 years in age. When they hit that age range, we, based on their maintenance records and mileage, we go ahead and phase those out and we replace them. All of our trucks now that we have in the fleet are lease trucks, so we don't even buy them anymore. We just lease them for that short period of time so we could just turn around and get them gone and bring new ones in. And as you said, they are absolutely all automatic transmissions. A lot of that, Andrew, comes from the federal government and the fuel mileage that a tractor trailer that is a standard shift gets. You know, the federal government said, hey, we need to get this under control. They went to the industry, the manufacturers, and said, we need to look at this. So they've began to manufacture these automatic trucks. Well, on top of the fact that we most definitely see an improvement to fuel mileage, we definitely are seeing an improvement in maintenance and mechanical issues because the driver's not in there grinding gears, trying to shift gears. The truck does all of the work for them. And what seems to be most important to me in this equation is that we're seeing less driver fatigue. Drivers aren't working themselves silly in that truck trying to shift gears and pay attention to the road and kind of do a million things in the cab of that truck. They can focus on the road, which makes them safer and obviously less fatigue. So most definitely those automatic trucks. All of our trucks are equipped with Qualcomm, which is an electronic log system. So all of their log is calculated through the Qualcomm. Driver doesn't have to do that written logbook each day. We also dispatch their loads to them through Qualcomm and give them directions to customers through Qualcomm. So it's a multi-use tool.
Communication is huge in the trucking industry.
Absolutely. Can't stress that enough. So the next two items that you see on the list are tools for the driver that actually help the driver to be safe. They are the Bendex Wingman system and the Meritor tire inflation system. Do I have a few minutes to explain that, Andrew?
Yeah, sure. Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So Bendex is an onboard radar collision warning system is kind of the best description that I can give you. What it actually does is it helps to track the vehicles that are moving around the cab of the truck. It does not put your entire truck and trailer in a big magic bubble. But what it does do is give the driver in the cab of the truck a visual and an audible alert. So they can see a screen that actually shows them the rate of speed at which vehicles are moving around the cab of the truck. And it's also giving them a little beeping sound, letting them know if they're approaching a vehicle that is in front of their truck. The closer they get, the louder, the sharper that tone is. It's, you know, letting them know, hey, driver, take control of your truck. There's a vehicle in front of you. It has the ability to actually apply brakes in hundredths of a second bursts. It doesn't slam you on brakes, but it'll pop the brakes off in little bursts to help slow the truck down, to bring it to a safe speed, to avoid having an accident should the driver be distracted or not paying attention and approach a vehicle at too high a rate of speed when they know that, you know, the truck recognizes it's about to have an impact. It has a gyro system embedded and built into the cab of that truck that is actually a roll stability system. So if a driver's taking, say, an exit ramp at a higher rate of speed than it is safe, as that truck becomes imbalanced, that gyro system reports that back to the computer of the truck, and once again, it'll apply brakes here and there all over the truck and trailer to bring that truck into a slower speed, which brings it back into a balance. Now, obviously, the driver always has ultimate control over that truck. If they keep their foot on the gas and their hands on the wheel, that truck's still going to hit the car in front of them. It's still going to roll over. This is literally just a tool to help them be hyper aware of what is going on around them and inside that truck, and to help them be safer drivers and protect that CDL. Remember what I said earlier? If you protect that CDL and you don't have those accidents, you're never going to want another job, because there are going to be 100 different carriers out here offering you positions.
Yep.
The Meritor tire inflation system actually uses compressed air from the cab of the truck. It has a compressor, and it keeps all of the trailer tires inflated to a specified pressure. So if a driver is going down the road and they pick up a nail in one of those trailer tires, Meritor will continuously feed air to that tire, keep it inflated, and keep the driver moving, as opposed to them having to stop and wait for a service truck to get there to repair the tire and get them back on the road. So it's really a great system. And again, these are tools to assist the driver, help them be safe, and help them be more efficient and make the most of their hours of service.
You know, it really kind of shows that the company cares about their drivers. They want them to make money, type of a deal.
Absolutely. We are absolutely committed to setting our drivers up to be successful within the industry, and most importantly, to being safe. Safety is our #1 priority within the Comcar family of companies. So I'll kind of keep moving here. We have maintenance and service trucks at the majority of our terminals. We're also a member of FleetNet. Now, what I like to say here is that it doesn't matter what division, which one of the 4 companies that you work for as a Comcar driver, you have access to every company terminal, maintenance shop, fuel island, service truck. If you are a CT driver but you are near an MCT terminal, you can take advantage of that terminal. Most definitely. We have over 42 terminal locations throughout the Southeast and up to the Midwest. So our drivers have the ability to access all company terminals.
Nice.
We do offer a fuel network to our drivers, and it's essentially a credit card that they use to fuel their truck. It's good at TA, Pilot, Flying J, all of your major truck stops, as well as your smaller mom and pops. It just gives the driver the freedom to fuel when they're on the road and not have to be routed into a terminal to fuel.
Nice.
Very good.
And finally, we do install auxiliary power units and power converters in all our new trucks. So the APU unit essentially is a tool so that if the driver is, say for instance, in a state that has a restriction to idling, that APU unit will allow them to run that truck, have their heat, their AC, radio, the power for their TV, that type of thing, without having to idle the truck, which obviously burns more fuel. The APU unit uses only about 1/8 of a gallon of diesel fuel to run for 8 hours, where if you were running your truck and idling, it would use a full gallon of diesel fuel every hour. So you can see the savings there. And then, of course, the power converters are most important to the driver, because that's going to allow them to have that TV and mini fridge and all the little comforts at home plugged in into their truck while they're on the road.
Very nice. All right, so here we're looking at the
Just a dashboard picture. Yeah. Obviously, you see the radio, the little screen there. Not all of the Qualcomm's or Meritor systems are embedded in the dash like that, but there are a few that are.
Nice.
And
very nice. Look at that.
This is my very favorite picture. This is the interior of one of our international Pro Stars, and what I like about this picture is if you look, and I don't know if you can see my little arrow.
There you go.
That is actually your shifter. As you can see from that photograph, there is no stick shift in that truck. You're going to get in, you're going to put your key over there in that ignition, turn the ignition, and then you press one of those little buttons, reverse, neutral, drive. You put your foot on the accelerator, that truck upshifts. When you put your foot on the brake, the truck downshifts. The truck truly does all of the work for you.
Wow, very, very cool. Yeah, we may have to steal that picture, Rob.
Yeah, really. That's great.
All right, here we go. Here's another good one, too.
Shots. That's great.
So this is obviously one of the bunks. Trucks are 6'4" clearance, so they're condo roofs. So if you are a tall driver, you have about 6'4" of clearance. If you're a little taller than 6'4", you're still going to have to duck your head. Where you've got your arrow going, obviously you have heat, AC, radio controls. Everything's controlled there in the back. You do have two big picture windows like you see there. That's not a flat screen TV. The windows are very heavily tinted on the outside of the truck, so no one can see into the cab, but yet you're still able to see out. You have lots of overhead and lower space storage. I think the next picture, Andrew, might show a little bit. Yeah, so you can see that there are
a lot of storage.
Nice interior.
Places for your TV, that type of thing. So they're pretty well equipped. They're not super fancy, as you can tell from the picture. They're pretty plain, but it's a work truck. We don't want our drivers spending all their time in the bunk. We want them behind the wheel and on the road earning money. Miles are money.
Very nice. Very nice. And if you have more, I want to open up the telephone lines and have you ask questions to Holly. But you can.
I have a question here from Bob Morgan. Bob, I've opened up your microphone. You can ask your question live. We can hear you.
Oh, okay. That surprised me.
Hi, Bob.
How you doing? Yeah, I got to admit, right, I'm really impressed with what you're talking about with Comcar. I love the idea of driving an automatic tractor trailer. They didn't exist when I was doing this before. Now, how long would a new driver, I would be interested, right, in either dry van or refrigerated. I never had no problem with any refrigerated, freight. How long would a driver newly out of school need to be with a trainer at your company?
All right, so each one of the companies is slightly different. It'll depend upon which division you go into, but you're typically going to go to an orientation, which is usually about a 3 to 4 day orientation. You are paid to attend orientation. We also pay for your hotel, breakfast, and lunch while you're there. We'll reimburse you mileage to get yourself there and back, or get you a round-trip bus ticket. So once you've completed orientation, then we also have what we call ADTP, which is Advanced Driver Training. You'll do that anywhere from 3 days to a full week, and it is going to be very similar to what you actually do when you go through the training program at National. They're going to put you behind the wheel of our tractor trailer with a loaded trailer behind you, and they're going to put you through all the paces: left, right-hand turn, serpentine, alley dock, load securement. They're going to make you comfortable with that equipment before they put you on the road with a driver trainer. So you have a few days orientation, then you have up to a week at ADTP. It's anywhere from 3 days to a week, depending upon the division. And then you're typically going to train about an additional 3 weeks with a driver trainer. So I would say from day one, showing up at orientation, through to the point where you're seated in your own truck and you're a first seat solo driver, could be up to about a 5-week period.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's not bad at all, really.
No, and you're compensated all the way through. They compensate you for orientation, they compensate you for ADTP, and you're paid for training as well.
Do you mind if I ask one more question?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. It's about automatic transmissions in tractor trailers. how does it manage to gear you down going down the side of a mountain? You know, does it automatically know you're going down and it, you know, puts the lower gears in there?
It
Help
does,
slow you down?
and I'm not very mechanically inclined, and I'm glad that you've asked that question because it actually kind of brings that up. Something I can talk to my safety director about that could probably explain that to me a little bit better. But I do know that it has an internal, it still has the Jake brake system like a standard shift, but everything's done automatically. And yes, the truck recognizes, and nowadays there are almost entirely computerized, just like with the gyro system and the Meritor system. There's so many things that are computer I know what I'm trying to say. The technology is there, and the truck recognizes it.
Good. Yeah, that's one less thing, you know, right, to really have to worry about.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I don't feel like I answered that quite as good as I could have, but certainly we'll be contacting my safety director tomorrow to get a better explanation. And once you are in school at National, I come out to every class. Once you're enrolled, I come to every class, and I give a very thorough breakdown of each one of the 4 companies. I explain the full training, orientation, cost, you name it, everything. And I'll have that answer in better detail for you then.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
That's great.
Thanks,
Great
Bob.
question, Bob. And also, I have a comment from Tim Barnett. He just graduated, and he does not have a mic, and he says, "Hi, Holly. I just finished the background with Armando, and he's starting training on Tuesday in Atlanta." And he says, "Thank you so much for all your hard work."
I am so thrilled. Well, welcome to the Comcar family, and I certainly hope that you keep in touch with me and let me know how it's going.
Excellent.
Very
Excellent.
good. All right.
All right. What's that question there from? We got a Paul Clark from Fort Benning, Georgia. You want to talk a little bit about the vet program?
I certainly can do that. So we do have a program for veterans. If you come to us straight out of the military with a Class A CDL, we do offer a $6,000 sign-on bonus for those individuals. So if you're using your GI Bill to go to school, then you can get that sign-on bonus. It's paid a little bit differently than the tuition reimbursement. It's still paid out within 25 months, but you get it in bigger lump sums. They do, when you initially start, you get that first load, they do $600 lump sum, and then they break it down and pay $150 a month for the next couple months, and then they give you another $600. So they break it down, get it a little bit in larger installments than you do if you are doing the tuition reimbursement.
And absolutely, Paul, veterans are certainly very much sought after in the trucking industry.
Most definitely, can never say enough how much we love to hire our veterans. They have such a wonderful work ethic, and we just love to hire our veterans.
Yep.
Holly, there's one little thing that usually bring up, and I think it's one of the neatest things for the family to know about. That thing where I hope you're still doing it, where the student or the individual brings the work card from the, for the children. Yes.
Yes, CT, our flatbed division, and CTL do offer a Pays for A's program. The Pays for A's program actually pays your children for their grades each 9-week period. So as a parent, you bring in your student's report card, and for every A on their report card, they get $5 for each A. So it's really a great program. It gives your students the incentive to do better in school. I love to be at a terminal when a parent brings a little one in to get their paycheck for their A's because they're so excited, and I think it really instills in them how hard work can pay off.
Wonderful thing, I think.
And it brings that whole family spirit to the company as well, which is important.
Absolutely.
Very
And
good.
I have a question here from Portia. She's in Jacksonville. She wants to know, can she choose a female trainer?
Absolutely, Portia. So that is a great question. I love that. absolutely do have female trainers at each one of the companies, but I will tell you most definitely we are in need of female trainers. We don't have as many. So if you request a female trainer, we can certainly accommodate that. If the female trainers are booked and they do not have an open female trainer when you come out of orientation, they'll give you the option. You can wait for a female trainer to finish up with a trainee and then be seated with her, or they'll give you the option to go with a male. Our male trainers are, all of our trainers, I should say, but all of our trainers are put through what we call a Train the Trainer program. It's a 2-week program. It trains them not only on safety, but on sensitivity, on how to deal with people, and they are absolutely held to the highest of standards. So I wouldn't have an issue in putting a female with one of our male trainers, but for some females it's just a comfort level, and we certainly understand that. But I would most definitely encourage you that once you become employed with Comcar, keep in mind that you have the ability to become a trainer as well, and we are certainly seeking women for those positions.
You know, speaking about that, I mean, I'm looking at the list here. We probably have about 40% women online with us tonight. The industry itself is right now is running at about 30%. It's come a long way.
I'm also hesitant to bring it up, but women make great drivers, Andrew. We tend to think a little bit more rationally before we make a decision. So women are much safer drivers than men.
Okay.
If you want to argue, we're not going to get into this.
Moving on.
Very good. Well, Holly, I want to thank you for coming on tonight. I think we cover the truck driving shortage? That is a huge thing, and one of the things, Holly, you come to every class. I told the class that you were coming to talk about per diem pay in our finance class when we talked about our, how to spend money on the road and how to make money and keep more money in your pocket, one of the programs that we do here. So they're looking forward to seeing you to explain the per diem. There's nobody that explains that better than you. So
I can't wait to meet everybody and see all those smiling faces. I just love it when you guys invite me out to talk to the class. We get such great hires through your program. So thank you so much for having me tonight.
Excellent. Thank you, Holly. And
Thank you, Holly.
And Holly's also comes out to our open houses. Our next one's going to be in April, and we look forward to seeing you there as well, Holly.
Oh, Holly, I have a question here from Katie. Hold on, Katie. Let me see if I can open up your mic. If you click your mic icon, Katie, you'll be able to speak directly to Holly. There you go. You're live.
Awesome. What is the policy for animals being on the truck? I have a pit mix that is a living companion, and I would really like to bring him on the truck with me once I graduate, but I just want to make sure, are there breed restrictions for companies or anything like that?
Some companies have breed restrictions, and unfortunately at this point we have a no pet policy. We don't have any pets in trucks. That is something that we are looking at. I've been preaching that at all of our meetings, even if we just instituted a deposit and allowed drivers to bring their pet, place a deposit. It's a deal breaker for a lot of individuals. Unfortunately, at this time, we do have a no pet policy, but there are companies that will allow it. Most companies, and again, I've not worked for another trucking company. I've been with Comcar over 15 years, but most trucking companies, rather than a breed restriction, they typically have a weight restriction. And they'll have a specific, you can only bring a dog or only a cat. They don't allow a lot of, different animals. But I would tell you to look at that. There are a handful of companies that do have pet policies that will allow you to bring an animal in the truck. I'm sorry. Okay. I wish that we did.
No, it's fine. It's just he's my baby, so I don't like leaving him by himself.
I certainly understand. I get it. And personally, I think that it is great. I think it's calming for the driver. And as you said, I think that that companionship makes a difference. So we're working on it. Hopefully we'll have that instated here sometime this year. I would love to see that happen for us as a company.
Okay, awesome.
Very
Thank
good.
you so much.
Thank you, Katie.
Thank you.
Right. Well, Holly, again, I want to thank you for coming on tonight, and you always do such a great job.
Thanks,
And
Andrew.
we'll see you very,
You guys soon. Yes, sir.
very good. Thank you.
Thank you, Holly.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Bye,
Holly.
Miss Eva. Bye, Rob.